Well, time now for another check of your forecast. You are taking a live look at the parking area near North Wilkesboro Speedway. The green flag for the Window World 450 is expected to wave in about an hour. But Brittany, you say rain may impact those race plans, right?
I do think that there's a pretty good chance here that rain's going to impact those race plans. Honestly, already yesterday it was kind of a little bit on that side as well, but we have more rain and storms on the way. So we're going to track these out for you. Live here, just a new strong storm that just developed here on the eastern side of this cell that was previously impacting Mecklenburg County. We're looking at this impacting parts of Midland and Locust over the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. Now, this is not technically a severe thunderstorm, but there are about 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well as pea-sized hail being reported. So just a heads up on that. Here's a picture of some of the damage we had earlier today in Conover. This happened between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. This was in that Conover area just on the northeastern side of Newell. We had gusty winds around 30 to 40. Some say closer to 50 miles an hour at this time. Only thing I could officially find on radar was around that 30 to 40 mile per hour mark, but it kind of just goes to show you that we can see significant issues here regardless of whether or not it's a severe thunderstorm. Now here's Wilkes County right now. Again, you can see that we're clear, but notice there's all these other spots here. We have severe thunderstorm warnings here over toward Mount Airy. There's more thunderstorm activity coming in from this north and west, and then you can see we have more storms over toward Danville. So it's just going to be a rainy pattern in general. There's that previous storm I showed you there earlier moving into the Locust area, and then the only other cell we have right now is this. Now this is a big cluster here of thunderstorms. Now this is again not severe, but notice how many lightning strikes happening, about 32 in the last 15 minutes or so. So let's put it all into motion here as we look ahead to the next couple of days. Severe thunderstorms are going to be a concern again for tomorrow on the lower end, so similar to yesterday. But remember, even in a low risk, we can have showers and thunderstorms produce heavy rain and again gusty winds. A lot of the damage we've seen again this weekend from earlier today in Conover as well as what was reported yesterday has come within some of those storms that are not technically severe. Here's the rest of this evening. You can see around 11 o'clock some pockets of storms as well, widespread cloud cover. Now this is going to be filtering out pretty quickly after the 11 o'clock newscast. So overnight we're mostly dry, and then again there you go, Monday another round of possible strong to severe thunderstorms. Really every single afternoon in the summertime we could have a low in risk of severe storms. It just so happens that these are ahead of a cold front that we are going to be watching for better rain chances as is expected to stall across the southeastern U.S. over the next couple of days. So again, similar to today, multiple rounds of storms Monday. I do expect Tuesday to be a little bit drier, but that is not the only storm that we have to talk about. Tropical Depression 2, second tropical depression of the season. Not officially a named storm yet, but this did develop earlier this morning. It actually did get its tropical depression status around 11 o'clock and is expected to become a tropical storm before eventually skirting here parts of the northern Gulf Coast, that is, over the next couple of days. This will be most impactful in terms of rain and wind to places like Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, but we're also going to see issues when it comes to storm surge. Right now, the biggest impact here likely going to be across the Big Bend region of Florida. You can see from pretty much Inverness, that's near Crystal River, all the way through Cedar Key, again the Big Bend, and then eventually over toward East Point. That's just south of Tallahassee there. And so again, big issues there for those coastal spots. Thankfully, a lot of the Big Bend of Florida, where actually Helene made landfall, is made up of a lot of swampy grassland, and so it does take quite some time to move farther inland, and a lot of times doesn't see as big of an impact. Now, TD2, again, likely to become a tropical storm, but this has 0.00 impact on us here in the Carolinas. While we are going to see a lot of moisture for our friends in the Gulf states, we're tracking that same stalled cold front I was talking about. That's what brings us our local moisture. So it's kind of a tale of two different systems, but ours is not going to be tropical. As it does stall across the southeastern U.S., we're going to see a boatload of moisture. This means any storm activity, if that does develop, will have heavy rain, but the stalled cold front likely impacts the coastline more than us here in Charlotte. While this 1 to 2 inches does look favorable for us over the next 7 days, notice near the coast, they're looking at potentially 5, if not more, inches of rain, just like the Gulf states are going to be looking at the same due to Tropical Depression 2. We'll have a lot more coming up at 11 o'clock on that system. Here's a quick look at your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast with that stalled cold front, more clouds, slightly cooler air, and more rain by the end of the week.